Hello and welcome back to Football Manager. For the final time, we are witnessing a Millwall Premier League fixture. This is the last game that I will ever play as manager of Millwall, and it's going to be an important one because not doing worse than Chelsea means that we will be finishing in the highest ever position that Millwall has placed in its entire history, with possibly a podium spot in the Premier League. Now, I know full well that even if I do get a podium spot on the Premier League table, I will not be winning the Manager of the Year award, because just for some reason, despite that season there, but ignore that one, it's fine, doesn't matter. That one, where I finished 4th with a Millwall side that was predicted to finish in 12th, and Manchester United finished in 1st with a team that's predicted to finish 1st. I'm not sure about you, but I'm pretty sure I was the one that overachieved then. But that is in the past. This is the final fixture ever to be played domestic-wise for me as a manager before I move on to the international period with Italy against Scotland, Serbia and Switzerland down here, as well as possibly any further games after that if we can qualify, which, looking at those teams, we should qualify. As you can see, I have spent the large majority of the £143 million transfer budget I was given simply because I was able to. We're looking at bringing in 3 players, which are Lucas Weatherby, which you've already seen. Also bringing in Jack Scott, a new right back from Northern Ireland, who is worth almost £50 million more than Livramento and Ramsey, so that's an important one. Blas Fernandez is also joining on a £15.25 million deal, and Mason Mount is probably going to be leaving now for a £24 million bid from Crystal Palace. On top of that as well, we're also bringing in Benjamin Bigger in I think 2 years from now, 3 years from now actually. He will be joining the club as a new attacking right midfielder, another one, because why not? Sean Campbell is joining at the end of this season on a free contract. I don't know why my director of football did it, but he did, so he's joining. And as well as that, Enek Saki is joining us next season as a new right back. So in other words, we're signing a lot of players in positions we already have a lot of players in. Yeah, okay, I made a few mistakes here and there with my transfer policy, but I mean, we are in the Premier League, we are a Champions League runner-up, we're a Europa League winner, FA Cup and Carabao Cup winner. Millwall are a very good side now. I don't think anyone could debate that. Now, we go into this match against Aston Villa knowing 2 things. Number 1, a victory ensures our position at 3rd place. Number 2, this is the last ever game I will be managing for Millwall, and I want to go out on a high. Now, we have Plazzari in goal for the last fixture, Livramento replacing the injured Ramsey at right back, Eduardo, Yola and Augusto alongside him in the defence, with Nato and Doyle sitting in the midfield. Jovanovski and Nestorov are the wingers, with in the middle Lopez making a return to the team for the final fixture, with Mateus up front. On the bench we've got Watson, Barry, Thomas, Sahajovic, Leonardo, Yildirim and Tasic. Unfortunately, we would have Nuno Albanaz on that bench, but he's currently away on international duties, so he's unavailable. So let's go. Let's go forward into my final ever domestic competition match. I believe I've played around 500 games domestically, so that's not including international fixtures. So this is going to be a very important match. And why is there about a 50-yard gap between the striker and the next players behind him? Jesus Christ. Our midfield, especially these 3, are going to have a field day in this gap. They're just going to play that ball straight through there as if there's not even any other players around. Let's go home smiling at the end of the season. let's play this match. So yes, I was right. Striker, two wingers that are actually regular midfield wingers rather than attacking wingers, as well as two defensive midfielders. To me, that is just apocalyptically stupid in terms of positioning. Doyle very nearly scoring the opening goal of the match with a free kick, but unfortunately it does just come off the bar and the post as it goes wide. Anderson plays the ball forward to Bielik. Bielik plays it back to Clothier, a player I did try and sign with the £143 million, but unfortunately was turned down as I wasn't willing to pay £65 million for him. McGinn now, the ball plays over the top looking for O'Leary, doesn't find him, it says finds Yola, who heads it down to O'Leary, and Glazen, thankfully, does not get to score against his old side, as Plazari does deflect that shot onto the post. Nestorov now chasing the ball that's put out wide by Doyle, but tackled by Dumfries. Bielik over the top, looking for, I don't know who that is, but Doyle picks up instead. NATO now back to Doyle again, back to NATO. NATO looking up, plays it to Lopez, who's on his return, and what a return he's having. After just 17 minutes, he scores his 6th goal of the season with a thunderous effort into the top left-hand corner of the net, straight past the Aston Villa goalkeeper. I don't think you could possibly have struck that better, unless he was aiming at the other post, at which point he'd probably strike it a little bit sweeter to make it curl. But that was an incredible kick. Livramento now to NATO. Back to Livramento again. Plays it in the middle for Doyle. Doyle looking up, trying to run it forward. Instead, holds the ball up and plays it to Augusto. Back to Doyle again. Forward, finding Nestorov. Back to Doyle. Lopez. Doyle again. Back to Lopez again. Forward to Mateus. Now NATO. Back to Doyle again. Now Jovanovski with it. Plays it back to NATO, who shoots the ball put over the bar by the goalkeeper. We have been controlling this fixture from the get-go, and Doyle with a corner kick swung in, unfortunately is headed away just as far as NATO. However, Doyle and Yola playing the ball back and forth between one another. Now finds NATO put the ball to Lopez, and then a shot put just wide of the post. But my prediction was correct. Without a strong central midfield block, that Aston Villa side is a terrible ticking time bomb, and they're just lucky we've only scored the single goal from that beautifully struck effort. Doyle now with another free kick, swings it in again, this time put over by the goalkeeper for a corner kick. Doyle looking over the corner kick now, swings it into the near post, met by the head of NDI. Jovanovski now with the ball is tackled very unceremoniously by Glazen of all people, and we get another free kick. Doyle swings it into the far post, met by the head of Yuri Nestorov, Glazen's replacement, and I say that with almost guaranteed certainty, his replacement, and that's his 10th goal of the season for the Ukrainian wonder kid. And Millwall are sitting pretty today, and we will be finishing 3rd this season. Glazen now, trying to prove a point, runs it past the tackle of Jovanovski, doesn't make it past Livramento. Bernardo plays it to, not sure, now Glazen just taps it past the Italian goalkeeper as if he wasn't even there. That was incredibly terrible football from everyone except Livramento, who did everything he could to get that ball away from the attackers. But then you had Yola not closing in quick enough. You had Jovanovski not coming back from the failed tackle. It was an all-around very poor defensive showpiece. Jovanovski, though, looking to make up for his mistake earlier on. Lopez now at the ball on the edge of the box, plays it back to Doyle. Doyle runs it forward to Nestorov, who is tackled by Dumfries. Now O'Leary with the ball past the halfway line, plays it forward to Armagh, gets the cross to Glazen, who shoots, but thankfully it's saved by Plazari. However, Glazen does keep it on the field. And I'm hopeful that this is actually now going to end the half, because I don't want to have another chance on our goal. So with a 2-1 lead and Chelsea only winning by a single goal, regardless of what happens in that Chelsea fixture anyway, we will be guaranteed our position of third place. Right, we've played well, but there is still room for improvement. Unfortunately for me, personally, I can't bring off Livramento, we haven't got a replacement. So we have to work around this. I'll probably leave it until the 60th minute or so to make any drastic changes. But Doyle now with the ball to Lopez. Lopez playing back to Doyle again. Now to Nato. Nato looking up. Runs it to the edge of the box. Gets a shot, but it's a very weak effort and was caught by the Aston Villa goalkeeper. I think I know the first two changes are probably going to be Jovanovski and Mateus, actually, yeah. I think it's probably the best option. I mean, I could bring Livramento off for Watson and then put Yulla out on the right, but seeing as he's not playing well either, it could be a dangerous choice. Clothia to Felicia. Tackled by Mateus in a very awkward spot, and Mateus makes it 23 for the season. He's not scored as many as he did in Brazil, but he's definitely scored enough for him to be a prolific goal scorer for us in the Premier League, and I am under the impression that he will be perfect for them in the next 5 years. Of course, I mentioned in the last video, I will be playing through the Europa Championship, whatever it's called, Euro 2028 with Italy, and following that I'll be doing 2 videos of Millwall post me, which is obviously of Millwall in the next 5 years from this season, what they've done in terms of transfers, how they've done in the league, other competitions, and just going on from then to determine how well or how poorly the club is being led after I've left. I will actually make the change of Livramento. I think it's the safest one to go with, and we'll put Watson in the centre of defence where Yulla was, whilst Yulla goes to be a defensive fullback. As well as that, we're going to be bringing off Jovanovski for Stefan Tasic, as he's not really been playing very good football. And I think that's probably all I need to do, really. Every other player is playing well enough to merit continued presence in the team, and I think for the final game of the season, we'll let them play the match out. And with just a few minutes left this match to go, I think it's all over here at the Den, and Millwall have managed to pull off an incredible final day win against Aston Villa to secure the best finish in the history of the Lions club. Now, of course, whether or not I was instrumental or just symptomatic of the rise is another question, is another debate. But I definitely like to think as if what I've done here is very, I wouldn't say impressive, but definitely improving of the club. We've secured victory, we've confirmed the best ever finish the club has ever had, and I'm very happy with all this. I'm very happy with how I've led the club. I'm very happy with where the club is, and if I'm being entirely honest, I'm very happy with how I'm leaving the club. Now, as I've mentioned, I'm not going to be resigning until after the Europa 2028 competition. I'm not going to resign until after that, so I will still have control of some transfers between now and the end of that competition, but other than that, everything's up in the air. So until we play Scotland, which will be, as I mentioned, next Monday, I bid thee adieu. Goodbye.